Well, President Yoon is now the first sitting South Korean president to be formally arrested. He faces charges of insurrection, being the ringleader of insurrection and abuse of power. So now he has already been detained at the Seoul Detention Center. We saw that detention warrant being carried out last week when he was taken into custody from his residence. But now he'll be formally booked, just like any other inmate at the Seoul Detention Center. He'll be given a number as well, and he will be put into a permanent cell as he awaits trial here. The CIO, the Corruption Investigation Office, now has 10 days to investigate him, and then he'll be handed over to the Seoul Central District Prosecutor's Office, who will take control of the investigation and then decide whether or not to formally indict the president after 20 days. And from there, the case appears to be moving over to trial. So that's where the status currently sits for President Yoon.
What will President Yoon's legal team do next?
Yeah, President Yoon's legal team has its hands full now. They have this criminal investigation that they now need to prepare for. They're awaiting indictment on that. But also over at the Constitutional Court, we know hearings have begun on that. And we've seen already sort of the president's legal team's strategy, if you want to call it that, in terms of filing motions. Some may call it delay tactics. We know that they had already tried to request a motion saying that the detention warrant in his criminal trial is illegal. That was immediately denied. Over at the Constitutional Court, they tried to file a motion trying to disqualify one of the court justices, saying that she is biased, but that was immediately denied as well. So in terms of the legality of the insurrection, President Yoon's team will argue and continues to argue that the insurrection was fully an act of governance by the president, and he was acting within his powers to really try to diffuse a national crisis, is what they're arguing. Whether he broke the law or not is what prosecutors will try to prove in these insurrection claims.
Well, Shane, what can you tell us more about the protest following the warrant extension?
Yeah, so for the first time since the martial law order, we've seen these protests sort of turn violent. We know, according to police, dozens were detained yesterday before the ruling was even announced that this court arrest warrant was approved. Many of President Yoon supporters tried to storm the courthouse there, scaling the fences. They were immediately taken into custody. And also just after this approval was announced, many of his supporters stormed the courthouse, breaking windows, throwing debris, clashing with police, and there, police say nearly 4 dozen people were detained as well. So we've seen these sort of protests turn violent overnight. It seems to have diffused, according to local media viewing. But I was out there last night, and you can sense that there was this tension in the air that was running through that was very different from past protests. But for the most part, I'm not surprised, considering the emotions were running very, very high last night. But police have said they will prosecute these individuals according to the law.